You were excited, you just tailored your first t-shirt or dress shirt or chinos or whatever they are, and you go try them on and you're like, something went horribly wrong. I'm SD, and there's a few ways that you can avoid that oh crap, what have I done moment. And there's a few reasons why your newly tailored clothes might kinda look like garbage on you. Let's do this. 1. Yeah, you didn't set up your machine properly, or you didn't use the right accessories. Depending on how heavy your denim is, if it's suggested to use a denim needle on denim jeans, you should listen. Or using a ballpoint needle on stretchy material, yep, listen to that too. You wanna make sure you understand things like your stitch tension and how it works, or what kind of thread to use and when and why. And I get it, I was there. In the very beginning, I was there. When I was trying to learn all of this stuff, there really weren't all that many good resources for all of this, so I had to just put it all together. There were some growing pains. I messed up so many garments, all so that you can learn from me and learn from my mistakes. So that being said, needles and thread and stitch tension and all that stuff, they all have their own separate videos down in the description. I was the guy who would use like white or black thread on a red shirt, or I would cut off way too much from my new seam so that I wouldn't have enough of a seam allowance to put a zigzag stitch on. You see this shirt? This shirt is so janky. I tailored this shirt when I had no idea what I was doing. Luckily, it ended up coming out great. I love this shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts, and you're gonna see this thing plastered all over my channel, all over the place, because it just shows how far I've come. It shows how much I've learned. It shows how I just put it all together and I figured it out, and you right there, you were gonna have a shirt exactly like it, trust me. 2, you were way too aggressive or inaccurate with your measuring and your pinning. And I am guilty as charged of this one, because when I would start out, I was way too aggressive and I took off way too much. If I wanted to taper the side of a t-shirt, man, I would taper it a lot. There's a very thin line between having a nice masculine looking V-taper and then having this kind of awkward feminine looking hourglass shape. I mean, I would taper a t-shirt so that I looked like an upside down triangle. Don't be like a bull in a china shop with your excitement. Just slow it down. Take it easy. When you measure and you pin your garment, be a little bit, just a little bit generous about it. And by that I mean, if you want to taper a t-shirt, for example, and you go and you measure and you pin up the waist, and let's say you want to take off 2.5 inches off of the waist. Start with like 2 inches instead. It is so much easier. It's so much easier to then go back later on and take off that extra 1/2 inch if you're still not happy with the fit than it is to go the opposite direction and move that stitch back out. Shirt came out too tight? Well, you gotta bust out a seam ripper. No, seriously, 3 minutes to take it in another 1/2 inch, or 30 minutes to go back and rip out that new stitch. Man, 30 minutes if you're lucky too. 3, you didn't buy the right size garment to begin with, and tailoring and altering your clothes, yo, it can do some magical, amazing creations with them, but it can only do so much. If it's incredibly baggy to begin with, and I'm talking like 2 or 3 sizes too big for you, then slimming the waist or the shoulders or shortening the sleeves, yo, it's only gonna do so much. At that point, you gotta like completely take apart the garment with a rotary cutter and a big fat no. Here's an example for you. Let's say I want to tailor a dress shirt. I go out and I buy said dress shirt, but what do I look for? What kind of rules do I follow? Well, I want to look for a large if at all possible, because that way the shoulder seams are gonna sit exactly where they're supposed to sit on my shoulders. They won't be too far down like they would be if I had an extra large. And also the sleeves won't be too long, and the neck, it's not gonna be too wide. And I've gotten a few messages from people who want to tailor their own dress shirt, and they'll send me a picture of it on Instagram, and I look at it and it's already way too big, and I feel bad because I have to just dash their hopes and dreams and tell them just don't bother. The shirt, it's already way too big as it is. And I tell them they can try it if they want to, but chances are good that you're not gonna be happy with it. You're gonna feel like you wasted your time. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I've done that. And pants are the same way. Do your best to make sure that they fit okay in the waist, in the seat, and for me, a size 34, perfect. And I can alter a 36 and get some pretty good results from it, but anything past that, like a 38, absolutely not. They're gonna end up looking like this big old hodgepodge of stitched up Frankenstein pants with like a seat and a waist that's way too big and an outer seam that it twists on the inside because I had to take off way too much on that inside seam. Rule of thumb, if you go to taper your pants and then you sit down and you notice that the outside seam is now resting on your shins, that's probably why. Don't ask me why I know that, but I do. Don't be like me, I just saved you years of frustration. SD out, deuces!